How good was Brandon Woodruff on Sunday? How bad was the offense once again? Disappointing to get a split with the Pirates at home. We'll get into that coming up next here on Locked On Brewers.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I feel like some of these Sunday afternoon home games go by just so quickly. The recall here is like a lot of quick 2-hour home games that you're barely in your seat. You barely can enjoy any of the concessions. Had a box of popcorn, and that was it. This game was over. And the Brewers did very little offensively. Brandon Woodruff did a whole lot pitching-wise, and the Brewers lose 4-1. Good to have you along. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Woodruff's performance, a AAA, someone moving up from AA to AAA. I have a feeling we'll be seeing this guy in the Major League roster very soon. We'll talk about that as well. And the Brewers split this series with the Pittsburgh Pirates. As I said at the open there, the Pirates come in, last place team, your stadium, take 3 of 4. You started off with a bang, winning 14-1 on the first game of that series last Thursday. I thought, and some of you all did too, that, hey, maybe this is going to kickstart the offense. Well, here we are, right back at it. I mean, this could have been losses for Burns and Woodruff this weekend if Sal Frelick and Blake Perkins didn't bail them out on Saturday night in a 3-2 win. But Sunday, let's talk about the good now for Brandon Woodruff. First of all, Brandon Woodruff is one of the all-time good guys, whether he pitches bad or pitches well. And rarely does he pitch bad. Good guy, good team guy. I've loved covering this guy since he's been on the team, since he kind of worked his way into the Brewer household with that home run against the Dodgers in the NLCS in 2018. Just a real good guy and a real high effort pitcher. And I really hope this guy sticks around long term. I do. I hope that they give him a contract. I hope that he gets the extension. I hope he does never become a free agent. Woodruff went out, pitched 5 innings, gave up 2 home runs, 4 hits, struck out 9. There's 2 solo home runs, one that was jacked to the right field side, and then Connor Joe hit one just over the fence by the foul pole in left field. But Woodruff, 9 Ks. That's what I'm focusing on. 9 Ks. And you get him back healthy because he looks like the old Brandon Woodruff. Now, we'll see here in the next couple of days that from the media, us in the media, when we cover this, cover the afterwards of Brandon Woodruff and how well he's bounced back from this. And hopefully he has going out there. And he talked about how excited he was pitching in front of the fans, that he woke up a couple of times on Sunday morning that he couldn't sleep. He was really excited about getting back. And it's a big deal. I was telling you guys last week, it's a big deal when a pitcher has a shoulder injury, arm injury, one of the elbow injury, and he's got to go on rehab, or he's got to, worse yet, go surgery. And you don't know when he's going to come back, and he doesn't know if he's ever going to make it back. And if he does come back, how good is he going to be? Because there's a long list of major league players, baseball pitchers will say, who've gone down that road of developing an arm injury and have never been able to be the same again, had to redevelop themselves, and still just weren't very good. So there's a scary part. I mean, Brandon Woodruff, if I was that guy, I'd be spending every night sleepless, thinking, man, I'm not going to earn this money if I don't bounce back and pitch like I normally do. But he's put a lot of hard work. He had 3 rehab starts, and he goes out there, and the fans, as you know, at AmFam Field, the greatest fans in the world, go out and give him a standing ovation. And they gave him a standing ovation when he was introduced. They gave him a standing ovation when he took the mound. It was great to get that for him. You know, he went up there. He didn't expect any of that. And I'm sure that gave him a little extra juice out there. I mean, it has to. Only human. You go out there and you hear the crowd appreciate what you've gone through here in the last 4 months, actually. April 7th, I want to say. April 7th or 8th. Almost 4 months. You know, that he's gone out there and worked hard to try to get back. Didn't know if there was going to be a time because he's had the setbacks, but here he is. He goes out, strikes out 9 over 5 innings, 84 pitches. Wow. That didn't make me forget how bad this offense was, but still, to me, that was a great sign because with Woodruff back, now, assuming he bounces back, the rotation I see, and we talked with Jack Stern earlier last week about that. You can see that podcast too. We still got that one going. I got Burns, Woodruff, Miley, Freddie, Peralta, and Hauser. That's what Stern was saying. That's what I think they're going to go with. I don't really want to count out Julio just yet, but he's kind of dipped off here in the last several weeks from what he was going. So it may be Hauser. Hauser pitched well in his last outing. He's going to get a start this week against Colorado. So we'll see that. I like Hauser more out of the bullpen, but that's not a bad 5-man. I mean, that's a really good 5-man. What are we talking? Not a bad, a great 5-man. Burns, Woodruff, Miley, Freddie, and Hauser. Wow. I'll take that. Give me that 5 against any 5. Give me that 5 against any 5 in Major League Baseball. I'm not pulling your chain. I'll take that 5. That 5 right there. You got 2 guys, Burns and Woodruff, who will be big time free agent on the market guys if they go on the market. Miley, who's been Wade Miley, whether he comes off the injured list or not. Freddie coming off a solid start. A couple of them now. And I know he's been up and down. And then Hauser, whatever you get from Hauser is a bonus, and he's been good and he's been bad. And he was good his last time out, and he had 10 Ks earlier in the month of July in a start. So, but yeah, I like that pitching rotation right now. And the Brewers did lose offensively, just brutal offensively. 4 hits, struggled again offensively. We saw the same thing on Saturday. Thank God that they were able to rally and win that game. JC Mejia, the Brewers were pitching. They were down 2-0, so Mejia's got to be in there. Okay. They're not going to use their frontline guys. This is not game 6 of the NLCS. So Mejia's in there because they're trailing 2-0. Milner had just done his job in the 6th inning in relief of Woodruff. 7th inning, Uribe comes in. He had a long fly ball, but did his job again. Uribe. And then Mejia comes in the 8th inning, didn't feel good about it. He's the guy there to suck up innings. They had him in the 8th inning spot, and he's just not an 8th inning guy. And he gave a 2-run home run. And Brian Reynolds, who's a Brewer killer, took down the Brewers. So that went from 2-4, and I was at the game on Sunday, and people started heading for the exits. People started the 33,000, another great attendance on a Sunday against the Pirates. 33,000. Are you kidding me? Fantastic. Against the Pirates, 33,000. I think they gave away a little toy truck to kids 12 and under. But 33,000, Brewers and Pirates. That's Brewer fan for you right there. That's great. But Mejia gave the 2-run home run, and the Brewers did come, the 9th inning rally there against the B bullpen for the Pirates. Pushed a run across, tying run at the plate with Monasterio, and he flew out the deep right. Game, set, and match. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more about this offense and about a player who could be on the major league level. You might as well call them all up at this point. Might as well call them all ball this at this point, the way the offense is struggling. We'll get to your tweets and a look ahead at Colorado as well. Chuck Friedman here on Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. And have you heard about Dave? Dave is a place to go to when you need extra cash. When you need advances on time, Dave can help. He's great. He can help you get extra cash. When you need a hand between paychecks, he can help you build credit by settling extra cash advances on time as well. Now, Dave is a banking app that's leveling the financial playing field. When you download Dave, you get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less. That's $500 in 5 minutes or less. No credit check, no late fee. It's all part of Dave's extra cash account. Advance the money you need with no interest and then settle up later. What a deal on that right there. You need a little money, got to pay for something, pay for a bang up on your car, an auto repair. Maybe there's a dental bill you need to pay off quickly and all that. Dave is going to help you out. Download Dave, Dave's extra cash account. Dave has the advance money you need with no interest and then settle up later. Download Dave today at dave.com/MLB. That's dave.com/MLB. You'll get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less. No credit check, no late fees. Download the Dave app right now and go to dave.com/MLB. That's dave.com/MLB. Terms and conditions, go to dave.com/MLB. Eligibility criteria and instant transfer fees do apply. Banking services provided by Evolve, a member of FDIC. All right, that's Dave. I'm Chuck Friedman here on Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where the Brewers take on the Rockies in a first of three coming up on Monday night, 7:10. We're getting back to those 7 o'clock weekday starts again as we roll through August. Catch the Brewers and Rockies in the first of three on Monday night on Sirius, the Sirius XM app. Search Brewers. You're going to get all 162 of the Brewers. Oh, and by the way, did I introduce myself at the beginning of the show? No, I got right into it. Sometimes, and that's a fault of mine, I get right into this show and I need to introduce myself, or maybe you guys who haven't heard from me before or whatever. Chuck Friedman. Yeah, sorry, we had a little audio glitch there and video glitch, but yeah, appreciate everybody joining me on every day on the Google, Spotify, Apple, and all the downloads, all the platforms that we download. I have them all on my Twitter page, Chuck Friedman, FREIMUND. Search Locked On Brewers on YouTube, and you're going to get Monday through Friday on Locked On Brewers. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and we'll be talking to you Monday through Friday, Brewers baseball. Hey, and on weekends, once in a while, we drop some of those short ones too for some instant reaction. Tyler Black is the guy I'm talking about. Tyler Black is the guy who I think is going to be called up in September. I think they've been priming this guy, moving him around, and I think if they will call him up in September. That's my gut feeling. Tyler Black will be on this team to provide some offense, playing some third base. I really do. I don't know if he'll start, but he'll be on this team. He's been moved up to AAA from Biloxi right now, so he'll play for Nashville. Good to see. Very, very good to see. I put on Twitter during the game, sarcastically, I said this. These trades that the Milwaukee Brewers have pulled off at the deadline for offense, boy, they're really paying off. Namely, Mark Canha and Carlos Santana. I know it's early in the game, but come on. Canha struck out 3 times on Sunday off the top of my head, 3 times. The first 3 times up, he struck out. I think he fouled out weakly to the catcher. Yeah, because I think Frelick was on first base in motion at the time. But yeah, these two guys, and again, they're the type of moves the Milwaukee Brewers had to make. We wanted them to make big moves. But if you make big moves, you're going to have to trade off some of your prospects. And they got a lot of ammunition to use. They just weren't about to do it. And so the guys they got, I still don't really understand the Canha move, because where are you going to play him? You're moving him around. He's not really an impact player. Platoon, DH, some right field. He's not playing left field with Yelich out there. I didn't really understand the Canha move. The more I think of it, Santana certainly at first base. I still like him as a better option. Than Rowdy. I just think Santana's got to go. Now he had a base hit in the 9th inning to get things going. So in response to my tweet, did these trades the Brewers pulled off at the deadline for offense, are they really paying off? I mean, are they really? DK says it's so bad. The Brewers always go for these cheap guys. They're good at defense, but they can't hit they just can't hit. I'll just say. Beer Cheese Benny. Real winners. So excellent. Won't be on the roster next year. Brock and SB says, did we expect them to? I wasn't really buying it. Great value brand bird, it says, the clearance bin. Ron says, cheapskate owner. The everyday lineup is one of the worst in baseball. Well, that's nothing new. Christoph says it's turning out to be two mediocre at best hitters isn't exactly going to change the offense. Well, the deal with getting these two guys, hoping for more value, that they would be more value than what the Brewers traded, that they would outproduce what we expected. So far, underproduced. Stefan says, can't wait to see the Cubs win another 15 to 20 games and win the division by 8 games. Stefan, that's not happening. Sorry. Although the Reds and Cubs are a game and a half behind the Brewers. Wayne says, how did they let the Cubs get Candelario? He's been absolutely raking them so far. Yeah, I mean, he's been raking for them so far. He's been getting on base hits. He's been productive. He's been the better trades so far early in the game that have been made. Deadline moves. Candelario. Brewers felt that they didn't want to give up prospects for third base. Maybe they like Tyler Black in the long haul at one of the corner spots. Adam says Canha has like one hit. Jody says same stuff, different year. We should all be used to it by now. Ian says it's all on the owner, Mark Atanasio. Feel the Burn says every time we trade for a player, they get usually worse on arrival. And that whenever you lose a bet, they usually get better wherever they go. Harley says, I love your sarcasm, Chuck. This is what you can expect from a cheap owner. Well, he did make some, he has made moves. In 2018, he made much better moves. But I feel like this year, they didn't think, they thought they were in it, but they were not going to be all in, as we always say in Wisconsin. Let's be all in. They were not going to be all in on this team. Made a couple of upgrades, but not all in. But yeah, those two have got to step it up. Adames, Willie. Willie is playing so bad that he may not have other options. He may have to come back to the Brewers eventually. He may not. He was looking for a contract extension. He may have to settle for the Brewers. He may not get that big time contract we're paying $20 million for Willie Adames, or shortstop, good glove, batting .203. Weimer and center. Somebody wrote on Twitter I saw today, Weimer should be considered for the Gold Glove. He made a couple of botch ups early on, but he made a great play today. I just think, I'm not a swing expert, but watching him closely today from behind home plate, maybe that swing needs that hitch that he has, that maybe that's got to be refined a little bit. Because sometimes today he was not catching up the pitches. They were blowing it right by him. Yeah, that little waggle he's got at the plate. I don't know. But, he just goes out there. He's not going to get benched. Who are you going to play in center field? Frelick, and then I guess move somebody to right. But no. Brian Anderson has lost his third base spot to Monasterio because Anderson wasn't hitting. Monasterio made the final out today. I was hoping he was going to come through there. He hit a deep fly ball. He was trying to hang in there with an 0-2 count. Feel like he's been in that position many times this year where he's the final guy. It's all down to Monasterio. Then he gets to an 0-2 count. He's battling, and game, set, match. The Colorado Rockies come to town. They're 44-67. Something good and something bad happened the last time the Brewers played the Rockies. We'll get to that coming up next here on Locked On Brewers. Locked On Brewers brought to you in part by BetterHelp. BetterHelp. Getting to know yourself can be a lifelong process, especially because we're always growing and changing. Therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness and understanding, because sometimes we don't know what we want or why we react the way we do until we talk through things. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who can take you on that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out the brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and then you can always switch therapists at any time with no additional charge at all. But discover your potential with BetterHelp. That's BetterHelp.com/LockedOnMLB, and that's 10% off your first month. BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnMLB, and you're going to get 10% off your first month with BetterHelp. You've been thinking about trying therapy? Give it a try. BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/LockedOnMLB. It gets you 10% off your first month. Chuck Friedman here on Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Download us on the various platforms: Google, Spotify, Apple, Amazon. We're on all the majors. I listed on my Twitter account, Chuck Friedman. Look at my tweets, Chuck Friedman, FREIMUND. Anytime I download an episode, I hook it up to my Twitter, and you get alerted that way. But you know what? You can always set alerts on your various apps that you have for downloading your podcast. You could set an alert for Locked On Brewers. And of course, you go to YouTube. I know you can there. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that little bell. It's going to alert you every time we drop an episode here on Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. We'll talk about the Rockies coming up next. The Brewers take on the Rockies in a 1-3 at AmFam Field. 7:10 the first pitch. Remember, this is August now. We're doing these 7 o'clock starts. 7:10 with the first pitch. Brewers and Rockies catch all 162 of Brewers baseball on Sirius, and the Sirius XM app was leaving the game the other night. You know, I feel like you always turn on when you're driving around late night after 9 o'clock Central Time Zone. I feel like you always get the Dodgers. The Dodgers are always a safe bet. Always sounds like it's a nice serene setting out there at Dodger Stadium. Driving in, your car, listening to Dodger baseball, not because you're a fan, but just because you want to hear baseball on Sirius or the Sirius XM app. It's a beautiful thing. All right, we'll talk about the Brewers' next opponent, the Rockies, coming up next here on Locked On Brewers. All right, the Rockies come to town at 44-67. Brewers swept them in the Brewers got swept in a 3-game series first week of May. That's the bad news. That was the bad news. The Brewers came right back, and things are flying high at that point. They went to Colorado, and things went bad. Now, the one thing that did go well is that Christian Yelich turned himself around in Colorado. He decided not to do that leg kick anymore. He had 3 hits in one of the games. I believe it was the third game of that series, that Thursday. Leg kick, got rid of it. 3 hits, including a home run. And he's been pretty good ever since. Playing at an all-star level. Even though he wasn't an all-star, he's playing at an all-star level. I want to consider him for an all-star at the time, but now, definitely. Playing really, really good. So those are the 2 things. Now, the Rockies are coming in here struggling. The Brewers will throw these pitchers against them. Freddie Peralta Monday, Wade Miley Tuesday, and Adrian Hauser Wednesday for the afternoon game, for the getaway day. Gotta like all 3 matchups. Peralta's coming off 6 innings, 7 Ks. Okay. Miley probably will be stretched out a little longer in this start. He went 4 innings in that last start because he was coming off the injured list. So Miley probably will pitch a little longer. And then Hauser. Lost in the shuffle in that 14-1 game last Thursday. Hauser went 6 innings on 4 hits. So all good. Peralta, Miley, and Hauser. Brewers game and a half ahead of the Cubs and Cincinnati. I'm just going to double check that real quick. Yes, a game and a half. The Cubs are moving in because they won again. They beat the Braves. Cincinnati got beat again. They stay a game and a half out. So Brewers still have this. Boy, you could have built on that cushion again today. Could have built it out to 2.5 games if you would have got the job done. But Woodruff, that was the great sign. Woodruff pitched his heart out, pitched 5 strong innings, gave the 2 home runs. Would have looked a lot better if the Brewers would have scored up some runs. But encouraged by Woodruff. And, hey, we're heading down the home stretch here in August and September. Got these 3 big games with the Rockies. Do I even say we need to turn the offense around? That goes without saying. We'll talk to you after the game on Monday night. Chuck Freeman, Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Have yourself a great Monday, everybody.